So today I'm going to be leading you through a hatha flow, and this class today is going to be focused on back bends and heart openers. So we're going to be doing several different postures. Some will be flexing the back, some will be extending the back. So let's get started. So you can come into a comfortable seat in about the middle of your mat. You can place your hands on your knees or wherever feels comfortable. If your hands are on your knees, you can have your palms facing down for gratitude or up to receive. We're just going to start class today with a couple of deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose, filling the belly. Inhale a little bit more, fill the chest, all the way to the top of the head. Hold, and then release. The next few breaths, you can let them be at your own pace. Not trying to control the breath, but rather just letting it flow through you. And then go ahead and take one last inhale. Let the last exhale be long. And then on your next breath, you can plant your hands out in front of you and you can just roll over your knees. Our first asana today is going to be cat-cow. So you can have those hands directly underneath the shoulders, wrists underneath the shoulder blades. You're in a neutral tabletop position. Then on your next inhale, you're going to look up, bring the chin up. Flex in the back. You're making a nice C with your back. This is cow. And then on your next exhale, you're gonna go into cat. So you're gonna arch your back, tuck the chin, and slowly release the head, pressing into those palms. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. And then you can begin to take these at your own pace, matching the breath to the posture. Inhaling through your cow and exhaling through your cat. You can take 2 more rounds of these. And then on your final exhale, come back into your neutral tabletop position. We're gonna take a couple of barrel rolls here. So you're gonna walk your hands a little bit more out in front of you. Your fingertips should be about at the tip of the mat. And you're gonna slowly begin to rotate your hips in a circular direction. Bringing the hips up and then down. You can start in one direction. Whenever you're ready, you can reverse, going to the opposite side. And again, your breath right now can just be at your own pace. And then on your next inhale, you can come back into the neutral tabletop. You can begin to walk your hands back towards your knees. And then you're actually gonna sit all the way down onto your knees. So the first posture we're coming into here is called rabbit. This posture is going to be a similar motion to what you're doing in cat. So you're arching your back. You're also going to be stretching out your thoracic and cervical spine here. So really getting into that upper back. So I'm going to demonstrate the posture, cue the posture, and then I'm gonna demonstrate and cue it again on that second time around. That's when everyone can join me for this first demonstration. I just want you to watch. So there's a couple of different variations of this posture. So the first one is you're gonna come down, exhale, bring the top of the forehead to the mat. You can stay here. This is the first variation. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can lift your hips off of your feet and slowly begin to roll your head, roll towards the back of your head. You can stay here. You should feel a very deep stretch in your cervical spine. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can grab your ankles or the back of your heels, so you get those opposing force stretches. All right, so we can all try it together now. So again, take whichever version of the posture feels best for you. We're all gonna start out with just rounding forward, bringing the top of the forehead down to the mat. Again, you can stay here. If you want to take it a little bit further, begin to roll forward towards the back of your head, stopping whenever you feel a stretch. It should not feel painful. And then if you want to take it a little bit further, grab onto those ankles or heels and roll a little further forward to feel those opposing forces. We'll be here for about 4 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, you can roll back and slowly come back up to a seated position. All right, so whenever you're ready, you can just come to a seated position, swing your legs out in front of you. And you can bring your legs straight out in front of you. We're gonna take a quick forward bend here, and then we're gonna transition into our next arched back posture, which is plow. So in your forward bend here, you can make it deep, you can make it a little lighter, however, whatever feels best for you. Wherever you are, I want a slight bend in your knees. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, begin to roll forward. You can grab onto the shins, ankles, or the feet. Let the head drop, and you can allow your back to round. On your next inhale, you can release whatever part of your leg you were holding and slowly bring yourself back to a seated position. So the next thing I'm going to do is demonstrate plow. There's a couple of different variations for plow as well. So again, first time I demonstrate all of them, I just want you to watch, and then I will demonstrate them a second time, and that's when everybody can choose whatever variation they would like. So wherever you are, no matter what version you're doing, you're just gonna come into a laying position on your back. You can have your arms by either side, your palms face down, straight out beside you. So the first variation of this posture, you're gonna inhale, bring your feet up to the sky. Tuck the belly button in towards the spine, and you should feel your back slowly start to round, your feet coming a little bit past your eye level. So the lower back should be lifting slightly. You can stay here if you want to take it a little bit further. You can just open up those feet. Again, keeping the back rounded, keeping the belly button pressing in towards the spine. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can close the legs and slowly begin to lift in the feet and bring them back towards behind your head. It's okay if your feet don't touch the floor. There's a couple of different variations here you can choose. First, you can bring those knees to your third eye. You should feel the stretch here in your mid-back. You can also bring feet towards the floor and straighten out your legs. This will add more emphasis into your hamstrings. Or you can bring the knees bent and towards your ears, and you should feel the stretch more in your upper back and your neck. All right, so, most importantly, when you're coming out of plow, your hands should be out towards your sides, out in front of you, so that you can use them as stoppers to make sure you don't roll back too quickly. So, wherever you are, you can take whatever posture you would like. I'll do it with you and demonstrate it for the second time. So again, you're coming onto your back, your arms are straight out in front of you, palms planted down. On your next inhale, bring your legs up to the sky, bring the feet a little bit behind your eye line. The lower back should be slightly lifting up off the floor, and you should have a rounded spine. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can just open up the legs. And then if you want to take the posture a little bit deeper, you can begin to inhale, bring the feet up and over behind the head. Again, taking whichever variation of legs works best for you here. Straight legs. You will feel the emphasis in the hamstrings. Bent knees towards the ears. You will feel the emphasis in your upper back. Or you can bend your knees and bring them towards your third eye, and you will feel that more in your mid-back. You have about 3 more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, you can slowly begin to roll your spine back to the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. You can plant your feet on the floor. And then we're gonna do a quick sit up here. So inhale, bring your arms up over your head. And exhale, slowly sit up. Rounding in your spine. The slower the better. And you can come back into a seated position here. All right, so to do sort of a quick reset here, we're just gonna do a spinal rotation on each side. So you can bend, it doesn't matter what side you start with. You can do the same side as me or you can do the opposite. Bend in one of your knees and bring, I'm starting with my right foot, so you can bring that right foot, if that's what you're doing, up and over your left knee. And then you can have your left knee bent or you can have it straight. The most important part is that you feel both glutes touching the floor. So I'm going to be using my right arm as a kickstand directly behind my tailbone. And then on your next inhale, lift the left arm up. And exhale, you can bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Slowly twist. Your gaze should be over that right shoulder blade. You have about 3 more breaths here. With every exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. And then on your next inhale, slowly begin to unravel yourself. And switch legs. So I did my right side, so now I'm doing my left. So I'm bringing my left foot up and over my right knee, making sure both my glutes are planted on the floor, using my left hand as a kickstand, bringing it directly behind my tailbone. And on your next inhale, inhale the right arm up, bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, and twist, twist, twist. Your gaze is over your left shoulder. With every exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. Sort of like you're wringing out a towel. And then on your next inhale, you can unravel yourself and come back into a seated position. We're just gonna take about 3 breaths here in a cross-legged position to reset before we get into some back extensions and some back bends. So you can have your hands wherever, just in a comfortable seat. We're gonna take about 3 to 4 deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. And then on your final exhale, you can bring your hands again right out in front of you. You can roll over the knees again. You're in a plank position here. And then on your exhale, just slowly, slowly lower yourself all the way down to your stomach. So we're gonna come into a king cobra here. I like to start out my back bends with this because you have a lot of control over this posture and you can make it sort of as deep or as comfortable as you would like. So for this posture, I want you to make sure that your feet are open behind you. Each foot should be on the edge of the yoga mat. Your chest and your stomach are planted and you're walking your hands back towards, for me, it's about my belly button, in line with my belly button. The further you walk your hands back, the deeper this back bend is going to be because we're going to be pushing up and we're going to be looking back. So wherever you feel comfortable with, you can also keep your hands directly towards your chest. You can even walk them out in front of your chest. That will just make the posture not as deep when we go back. So choose your hands position. And then on your next inhale, press up into your hands. You can stay here, and if you want to make it a little bit deeper, you can release in the head and neck and look back. And then for the final variation, if you want to make it a little bit deeper, you can bend in the knees. You can open the knees up a little bit wider and just continue to look back towards the feet. And then on your final exhale, you can slowly lower the feet if they were up and slowly lower down to your mat. So you can keep those feet open where they are, feet on either edge of the mat. Bring your knees in together though. Bend in your knees, and you can let your feet sort of fall open. And then you can grab onto the right foot with the right ankle, or the right hand with the right ankle, left hand with left ankle. Take a breath here and just allow everything to relax. And then on your next inhale, slowly start to lift yourself up. You're lifting in the knees, you're lifting in the feet, lifting in the chest. You're looking up towards where you want to go. About 3 more breaths here. And exhale, slowly release yourself down. Release your ankles. Shake everything out. And then on your next inhale, you can press into your hands. And you can slowly come up onto your knees. Take a seat at the front of your mat, and you can be sitting on your knees like so. So we're going to come into camel here. So the way that I've sort of set this up is that each back bend posture is getting a little bit deeper. Now, all of these postures are postures that you can modify. So I will cue the least deep version to the deepest version. That being said, if anything ever feels too much, you don't have to participate in any of these postures. I would like to recommend that if you'd like to still be in a posture, you can do one of the postures that we did earlier in the video. You can do child's pose. You can simply watch. This is your practice. So what I'm doing is just a suggestion, and I'm here for guidance, but if there's anything that doesn't feel right to you, this is about your intuition. But that being said, I want to make every posture as accessible for as many people as possible. So I will demonstrate every variation of any posture that I know. Now, that was a really long spiel, but we're going into camel. Camel is a bit of a deeper posture. So I'm going to cue all the variations I know of camel. Again, if all of them seem or feel too deep, then plow would be a great other posture to do, or anything else that you would like to do at this time. So if we're doing camel, you can come up onto your knees. You're going to have a slight space in between your knees. You're standing on your knees here. So the first variation of camel, you're just going to bring your hands to your lower back. You're going to bring those elbows in towards each other. And on your next inhale, you're going to start to lift in your chest and begin to look back. So the bend isn't as much in your lower back as it is in your upper back, and you're lifting in your chest. So you shouldn't feel like a lot of weight is in your lower back. Bending as deep or as not deep as you would like here. If you want to take this posture a little bit further, you can bring your right hand to your right leg or ankle, and your left hand to your left leg or ankle, and slowly begin to release your head all the way back, still lifting in that chest. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, wherever you are, slowly roll your spine back up to an upright position, and you can come into a seat on your heels. It's normal to get a little bit dizzy here because that posture can be very deep. So we have about 1 to 2 more postures to do. I say 1 to 2 just because it's pretty much one posture, just with a lot of variations. And then we will do a quick Savasana and be done for the day. So the last posture is wheel / a back bend / whatever you call it. There's a lot of different names for the standing back bend. I am going to cue several different versions of this posture, and I'm also going to cue several different ways to get into this posture and also several different ways to get out of this posture. I said what I said before. If anything doesn't feel good or right, please don't participate in it. Any of the other postures we did earlier you can do, and I can also come by to assist anybody that needs help or needs to be sort of spotted or guided into this posture. So for wheel, I'm going to start out with, I guess, the most basic version that I know of wheel. So you're gonna come onto your back. Your feet are planted. And then you're gonna bring your hands planted slightly, I would say, around your ear level. Your palms are facing down and your fingertips are facing towards your toes. Your elbows are bent, your knees are bent. Whenever you are ready, you are going to press into the feet and press into the palms. You're going to lift in the hips, lift in the head, and you are in wheel here. You can stay here. You can also walk your feet out slightly. That just changes the emphasis on a different part of your spine. You can walk your feet in. And to exit this posture, you just slowly bend in your elbows and your knees. You can let yourself release down onto the head and finally the back. So that is the first version of wheel. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple more versions. I'm going to demonstrate how to stand up from wheel. I'm also going to demonstrate how to go into wheel or go into a back bend from standing. I'm going to show wall walks. So that is sort of, I'll show those first because that is sort of the first thing you would do before you just try to do a back bend from standing. And then the last thing that I'm going to demonstrate will be a kickover. Now, for the kickover, I would not recommend that you try a kickover right here, right now, if you've never done it. Just because I think that when you're learning a kickover, it's best to have somebody spotting you. And since there's only one of me, I'm not able to come around and spot everybody. So I'm just going to demonstrate it because so that hopefully my cues will help you for the future if it's something that you would like to do. If you have done a kickover and you're confident in doing it, then please go ahead and go for it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is demonstrate wall walk, so I'm going to have to move the camera slightly so that you can see me on the wall. Okay. So there's the wall. So for the wall walk, you want to have your feet out. Now you want to be making sure, and this goes for many of the back bend postures, that you either have on your bare feet and they are not slipping and sliding, or right now I have on sticky socks. So that's a really great thing for back bends, because you really don't want your feet sliding around when you're doing a back bend. So you want to walk your feet out. It's different for everybody. It really just depends on your height. But I would say you can sort of test it out and kind of see for yourself. But the distance should be, your hands will eventually be right near the wall on the floor. So if you start walking out and you find you're too close, you can come forward. If you find you're too far, you can walk back. I think that normally when you're starting out, you will probably start out a little bit closer to the wall because it feels safer than being so far out and you can't reach. So you're gonna have your feet planted, you're gonna have about hips distance between them. Then on your next inhale, you're gonna inhale, bring your arms up to the sky, and exhale, you're gonna bring your hands down to the wall. Now, you can stay wherever feels comfortable, but if you would like, you can just walk down the wall. Now I start to feel I'm a little close, so I walk my feet out. So eventually the goal is to get to the floor. And then if you're on the floor and you'd like to come back up, just begin to be walking your hands up, back up to standing. Okay. So that was the wall walks. Now I'm just going to demonstrate that, but in the standing position. Now the same for this goes for the kickovers. If you've never done a standing back bend, or you've never done, if you've never come up out of a back bend up into standing, or done a back bend from standing, I would not recommend you do this for your first time without a spot. I can come around and spot everybody, but don't try it on your own if you've never done it before. If you have done it, please go ahead and do it. If not, continue to practice the wall walks. So first, I'm going to demonstrate the back bend from standing. I'm going to actually start in the back of my mat just so you can see it a little bit better. So it's going to be very similar to what we did with the wall walks. On your inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up. Exhale, begin to look back. You want to look all the way back at the floor, and you're slowly just going to be releasing your hands down onto the floor. You can walk your hands out a little bit if that feels more comfortable for you. So I'm going to demonstrate coming up out of this. So I would say the thing that has helped me the most is sort of the motion of lifting in my chest and looking towards where I'm going. So looking towards the back of the room, which is where I'm going, and my back goes from a very, very arched place to a very the opposite. So I'm sucking in my belly button in towards my spine while I do this. So it helps for me to walk my feet a little bit towards me. And then on my exhale, I look forward and come up out of my back bend. Okay, that was a little hard to talk in that. Okay. So what I was trying to say was it helps. So the cat-cow position is in your cow, your back is extremely extended, and then in your cat, your back is extremely flexed. So it's the same position, it's the same motion in a back bend. In your cow, your back is extremely extended, and then you're going into that flexed position. So it really helps to suck in your belly button towards your spine and gaze towards where you want to go. I also imagine lifting in my upper body. So those are the best sort of cue tips I can give to you. So I'm gonna go into the final posture, which is the kickover, and then we will be done for the day. So I'm gonna be doing the same thing. On my next inhale, sweeping my arms up to the sky. Exhale, begin to look back, go back into the back bend. And then for the kickover, I'm lifting in one leg first, and that is the motion that I'm doing. So lifting and kicking, and I'm transferring my weight into my hands. So it helps to sort of just feel that out before you kick over. Just feel the feeling of rocking from your feet to your hands. Whenever you're ready, you can kick in the right foot. The left foot will follow, and you're ending in a standing position. Okay, so we covered a lot of ground today. We're gonna go ahead and just decompress from this and take a quick Savasana. So I want you to come back into that seated position. You're sitting in whatever way feels comfortable. I'm shaking out my wrists right now because when you're doing the standing back bends, I feel like it's a lot on your wrists. So if your wrists are a little sore, you can shake them out. You can do a couple of neck rolls here. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly transition to your back. So I'm just bringing my knees up in towards my chest, slowly rolling back, and then releasing in the feet, releasing the legs, bringing my legs out straight, bringing my hands out straight, palms up to receive. Take a couple of long, deep breaths here. So I'm going to take you through a quick flexion and extension, and then allow you to drift off into Savasana. So on your next inhale, flex the feet, bring the toes in towards the face. You can flex in the calves, and exhale, release. Inhale, tighten up the quads, squeeze the glutes together. Exhale, release. Inhale, suck the belly button in towards the spine. Flex all of your ab muscles. Exhale, release. Inhale, make a fist with your hands. Bend your elbows. Flex your biceps. Shrug your shoulders. And exhale, release. Inhale, bring the shoulder blades back behind you. Squeeze. And exhale, release. Inhale, bring the chin towards the chest. I like to grab the back of my head when I do this. And flex in the head and the neck. And exhale, release. Inhale, scrunch the face. And exhale, release. For the remainder of class, want you to let every muscle in your body release. Allow yourself to drift into Savasana. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly bring some movement back into your body. Maybe this means rolling the ankles or the wrists, maybe bending the toes or the fingers, maybe bending the knees or the elbows. And then whenever you're ready, you can bring your knees in towards your chest, roll onto one side. Take a second to honor your practice, show yourself some gratitude for being here, for honoring your body, maybe for learning something new. And then on your next inhale, you can slowly roll up on into a seated position. Take a couple deep breaths here. The light in me honors and sees the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much.